Today we continue our daily Srimad Bhagavatam class with Canto 1, Chapter 2. We'll go through verses 8 through 15. Everybody can be prepared with their phones and their doodads, their gadgets. Telling Golokunanda Prabhu that I put my laptop on the Vyasa-san, and I was thinking, laptop Prabhu can give class. Because fortunately we have Srila Prabhupada's books right here. All we have to do is repeat it, right? Wow. So let's sing some Jai Radha Madhava, please. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari. Yamuna Tiravanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Kunja Bihari. Jaya Gopi Janavallabha Girivaradari. Yashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Yamuna Tiravanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare. Rama. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Hare. Jaya Radha Madhava, Radha Madhava, Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Kalashanji, Radha Kalashanji, Shri Radhe. Radha Kalashanji, Jaya Radha Shamasundar, Radha Shamasundar, Shri Radhe. Sundar Shri Radhe. Jaya Radha Govinda, Radha Govinda, Shri Radhe. Radha Govinda Shri. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Shri Radha Madhava ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Before we do the invocation prayers, would somebody mind who knows where the mic is? If somebody can grab the mic, please. All together, please. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devyam sarasvatim vyasam tato jayamudirayat nasta prayasha breshu nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavati Uttamasoke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki Om Gyantimarandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshuranvitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Okay, so we have a little we were in the 7th canto, right? And now we have a little Krishna House break, spring break. I've seen Yovanas here. You must have spring break also. Oh, welcome. It's really nice to see you. So we've taken a little break to hit up Canto 1, Chapter 2. Very, 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 very nice chapter. And yesterday, Nortam Prabhu gave a really nice class. And we ended off in text 8, and we'll go through 15. So, would somebody be willing to please start us off? Text 8.
Dharma swanustita pumsam visvaksh.
We just, just the translation's okay, Prabhuji. Thank you though. That's very, wow.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I mean, like, how are you supposed to know? You know what I mean? So, yeah, just translation. We'll read to 8 to 15, the translation, and then we'll come back to 8 and we'll focus on it. And we'll do the Sanskrit. Please, go ahead. Thank you.
Do I do the whole?
Just the verse right now. Yeah, just the translation of the verse. Yeah. No. Just do one, and then we'll pass the mic. Okay. Thank you.
Text 8. The occupational activities a man performs according to his own position are only so much useless labor if they do not provoke attraction for the message of the personality of Godhead.
All occupational engagements are certainly meant for ultimate liberation. They should never be performed for material gain. Furthermore, according to sages, one who is engaged in the ultimate occupational service should never use material gain to cultivate sense gratification.
Text 10. Life's desire should never be directed towards sense gratification. One should desire only a healthy life or self-preservation. Since a human being is meant for inquiry about the absolute truth, nothing else should be the goal of one's works.
Text 11. Learned transcendentalists who know the absolute truth call this non-dual substance Brahman, Paramatma or Bhagavan.
Seriously inquisitive student or sage, well equipped with knowledge and detachment, realizes the absolute truth by rendering devotional service in terms of what he has heard from the Vedanta Sutra.
O best among the twice born, it is therefore concluded that the highest perfection one can achieve by discharging the duties prescribed for one's own occupation according to caste divisions and orders of life is to please the personality of Godhead.
And the last one. Therefore, with one pointed attention, one should constantly hear about, glorify, remember, and worship the personality of Godhead, who is the protector of the devotees.
15. The sword in hand, intelligent men cut through the binding knots of reactionary work, karma, by remembering the personality of Godhead. Therefore, who will not pay attention to his message? Okay, we'll go to 8 and focus on this verse today. Dharma svanustita pumsam. Dharma svanustita pumsam. Vishvakshena katasuyaha. Vishvakshena katasuyaha. Not padayed adyad, not padayed yadiratim. Not padayed yadiratim. Sharameva he kevalam. Sharameva he kevalam. Bolo, please. Ama eva he kevalam. Asvan justita pumsam. Eva he klevalam. Asvan stitaram pumsam. Akshena katasyaha. Atim ratim. Eva he kevalam. Whoa. We're good. We're good. Okay, if we can do the word for word together, please. Dharma, occupation, sanvustita, executed in terms of one's own position. Pumsam, of humankind. Vishvashena, the personality of Godhead, plenary portion. Katasu, in the message of Yaha, what is, na, not, udpadatyet, does produce, yadi, if, ratim, attraction, sharama, a useless labor, eva, only, he, certainly, kevalam, entirely. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. The occupational activities a man performs according to his own position are only so much useless labor if they do not provoke attraction for the message of the personality of Godhead. Purport. There are different occupational activities in terms of man's different conceptions of life. To the gross materialist, who cannot see anything beyond the gross material body, there is nothing beyond the senses. Therefore, his occupational activities are limited to concentrated and extended selfishness. Concentrated selfishness centers around the personal body. This is generally seen amongst the lower animals. Extended selfishness is manifested in human society and centers around family, society, community, nation, and world with a view to gross bodily comfort. Above these gross materialists are the mental speculators who hover aloft in the mental spheres, and their occupational duties involve making poetry and philosophy or propagating some ism with the same aim of selfishness limited to the body and the mind. But above the body and the mind is a dormant spirit soul, whose absence from the body makes a whole range of bodily and mental selfishness completely null and void. But less intelligent people have no information of the needs of the spirit soul. Because foolish people have no information of the soul and how it is beyond the preview of the body and mind, they are not satisfied in the performance of their occupational duties. The question of the satisfaction of the self is raised herein. The self is beyond the gross body and subtle mind. He is the potent active principle of the body and mind. Without knowing the need of the dormant soul, one cannot be happy simply by emolument of the body and mind. The body and the mind are but superfluous outer coverings of the spirit soul. The spirit soul needs must be fulfilled. Simply by cleansing the cage of the bird, one does not satisfy the bird. One must actually know the needs of the bird himself. The need of the spirit soul is that he wants to get out of the limited sphere of material bondage and fulfill his desires for complete freedom. He wants to get out of the covered walls of the greater universe. He wants to see the free light and the spirit. The complete freedom is achieved when he meets the complete spirit, the personality of Godhead. There is a dormant affection of God within everyone. Spiritual existence is manifested through the gross body and the mind in the form of perverted affection of gross and subtle matter. Therefore, we have to engage ourselves in occupational engagements that will evoke our divine consciousness. This is possible only by hearing and chanting the divine activities of the Supreme Lord. And any occupational activity which does not help one to achieve attachment for hearing and chanting the transcendental message of Godhead, is said herein to be simply a waste of time. This is because other occupational duties, whatever ism they may belong to, cannot give liberation to the soul. Even the activities of the Salvationists are considered to be useless because their failure to pick up the fountainhead of all liberties. The gross materialist can practically see that his material gain is limited only to time and space, either in this world or in another. Even if he goes up to Svargaloka, he will find no permanent abode for his hankering soul. The hankering soul must be satisfied by the perfect scientific process of perfect devotional service. Wow. Where do we start? So, activities are being performed by every living entity. Not just in the humans, even the animals are performing activities, right? But what's the quality of that action? Is it action that is bringing us down to this bodily consciousness that tears us down, that has no satisfaction for the soul, and therefore we can't help but become greedy and lusty more and more and more because we need to feel. We need to act. So we don't get that satisfaction, we must try to push and push and push and push harder. And this takes us down to lower species quite often, right? Because as the human, we have this facility to cause so much havoc with our intelligence. And that greed and lust, combined with the human intelligence, creates so many disastrous things. Just read the news. But because there's a system put in place that no one can do so much harm to another, we get put into lower species so that we can't do as much damage. And this is hell. But we don't have to wait until we get to the bodies of animals to experience this hellish condition of desire and greed. We can see it right here in the human life. Just look around. We have so many people that are mental disease. 80% of Americans have a mental disease. Can you believe that? It's crazy. Okay, maybe not a mental disease that like we go, this person needs to be in a mental hospital, but a disease of not being, we can say dis-ease. You're diseased. Not at ease, right? I would say that 100% of us are diseased mentally to some degree. However, to some degree, people get put into a bucket of you are in the 80%. Are you in the 80%? Guilty. So, we need action that is going to bring us out of this disease. And Krishna, Sukadeva Goswami is making very clear here that the way we do that is by doing activities that provoke us to be attracted to the message of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And so if we go to text 5, just a few texts before, there's the recipe of what it looks like to be engaged in devotional service to this point where your only desire is that of the pleasure of Krishna. I'll just read the translation. O sages, I've been justly questioned by you. Your questions are worthy because not 5. 6. The supreme occupation, dharma, for all humanity is that by which men contain to loving devotional service unto the transcendental Lord. Such devotional service must be unmotivated and uninterrupted to completely satisfy the self. That's a high bar. Unmotivated. What's one thing that we can kind of understand that we do in this human body that is unmotivated and uninterrupted? Breathe, right? Nobody says, let me think about breathing. We just do it. It's unmotivated. It's uninterrupted. Matter of fact, if it's uninterrupted, then you no longer have a body, right? So the mind will kick in and say, nope, we have to breathe. I was thinking there's one other thing that the body does in the sense of that's uninterrupted and unmotivated, and that's the beating of the heart. The heart, it beats, the heart. Yeah, right? There's many things too, right? Right? So nobody thinks, let me breathe. Let me breathe. Let me breathe. Let me keep breathing. This is what our service to Krishna needs to get to. It needs to get to the point where it's just what we do. There's no motivation, no need to even be conscious that this is what we need to do. But in this conditioned state, we have to be conscious. Srila Prabhupada says we have to be conscious before we become Krishna conscious. So in this material conditioned life, we have a verse right here that gives us our goal in this life. We are trying to progress in our devotional service, that we get to a point where our devotional service is unmotivated and uninterrupted. That it becomes just like breathing. See, in the spiritual world, there is no need for a goal like this. What am I aiming to? Because in the spiritual world, service is this. It just becomes what we do. However, in the spiritual world, we're always progressing in that devotional service. We're always growing. We're always expanding. How do we serve Krishna the better pizza? Can you imagine? In the spiritual world, it's time to make Krishna pizza, and there's a whole team that's working together to make Krishna's pizza. Like, hey, I heard about this ingredients. It's in the mountains around the other ridge, and you're going to have to go on a hike for many miles and get this one ingredient that we found and we heard about and make it for Krishna's pizza. And so there's a whole, like Lord of the Rings of going to get the ingredient for Krishna's pizza. I'm being a little facetious, but not so much, in a sense that this is the spiritual world. There's these big adventures to serve Krishna. And we can't even imagine how wonderful these adventures are and how vast they are. But here in this material world, we're in a conditioned state that we need to have a goal that we're going to. And here it is right here. Unmotivated, interrupted devotional service. And so therefore we have a great opportunity to make progress towards that. See? We don't actually get to decide when this happens. We don't get to decide when our devotional service becomes unmotivated and uninterrupted. And that can be very how should I say, disturbing. I don't have control over if I can meet the goal of life. And I say that because there's only one way that we get this unmotivated and uninterrupted devotional service, and that's by the mercy of Krishna. He finally gives it to us, right? So, what can we do to stay in a way that we don't become crazy, we don't lose our sanity because we're not getting this goal? Well, we make progress. We surround ourselves with a community of like-minded people that also want to make progress in their Krishna consciousness. We associate with each other. We read Srila Prabhupada's books, and we make progress. And sometimes it doesn't look like we're making progress, and that's when we double down in our devotional service and stay consistent and keep marching forward. However, there's one thing that is the core of our progress. There's one thing that above anything else is the most important. Any suggestions? Any thoughts? Yes. To make progress towards this. Enthusiasm? Very nice. Srila Prabhupada says enthusiasm, confidence, and patience. Sri Rupa Goswami said, Prabhu?
The chanting of the holy name.
Yes. There's no other way. There's no other way. There is no other way. But maybe this? Nope. But maybe if I do like this? Nope. But maybe if I have this attitude like this? Nope. There is no other way to get to unmotivated and uninterrupted devotional service but by chanting Hare Krishna. Now, by chanting Hare Krishna, we are taking shelter of Krishna. We get to a point where we understand, we get some experience that we really have no, what should I say? We're helpless. We're very helpless. Maya has been controlling us for so long, has been our north, our compass, that it's just natural for us, right? Matter of fact, Srila Prabhupada says in the purport that it's so natural to us because we are a spirit soul. We have a desire for action. We have a desire for joy, right? So we can't help but try and move forward to it. But we've been taking shelter of Maya so much that it becomes very difficult to switch from the dependence on Maya or just our activities of the conditioned activities to the activities of Krishna's devotional service. So, what that looks like, we could say, is that we want to keep the hand on the wheel to where we want to steer. We have a desire to steer like this, and matter of fact, because Maya, it's not even so much us. Actually, Maya grabs our wheel. And she's steering us. And so we want to become so dependent that we say, Krishna, please take my wheel. I think this is a Christian song, actually. That's funny. God, take the wheel. Yeah, it is. Very nice understanding, right? And we say, Krishna, take the wheel. Because if you don't take the wheel, then Maya is going to take the wheel. And I don't even have control of that. I've gone so down into a conditioned state that I'm just motivated by the three modes of material nature. Maya has got a hold of me, and what can I do? I cannot escape her grasp. So I take shelter of you. I give up. I tap. Krishna, please. And so the best way to do this, to get to this point, is by chanting Hare Krishna. And when we chant Hare Krishna in this mood of Krishna, you are my master. Whatever you desire, please you do this. Then we get something wonderful called devotional service. So this is the prayer of Hare Krishna, the Maha Mantra, is a taking of shelter of Krishna, and in return we get devotional service. But we need to do it we need to get to a point where it's unmotivated. But because we're in a conditioned state, maybe we need a little bit of guidance at first. So our motivation can be, hey, I'm going to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna. I'm going to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna. And therefore, I'm really asking you, tell me in your Bhagavad Gita, if I surrender, if I take shelter of you, then I am taken care of. But I know that really being taken care of is serving you. Because I'm going to act, I'm going to serve, I'm going to do things, and really, I'm solely dependent on you for that activity to be devotional service. Okay, we do have to make our endeavor. However, in that endeavor, this is our endeavor. I am praying to Krishna, please help me, please help me. And he gives us some intelligence about how to move forward. So, as we know in the story of Yashoda Damodar, right up here, she's trying to wrap Krishna up with ropes, and she's always 2 fingers short, right? And our acharyas explain that the 2 inches too short, 2 fingers, are one, our endeavor, and one's Krishna's mercy. So let our endeavor be, please Krishna, I take shelter of you. And chant Hare Krishna in that mood. And Krishna, he is so wonderful that he reciprocates by giving us service. And that service is done in a way that we continue to make progress until one day Krishna goes, bloop, there's Krishna Prema, unmotivated and unrooted. Thank you, dear devotees. It's 8:15, so we'll open it up to questions, comments, corrections, thoughts. Hare Krishna.
We'll just now take the mic first and then pass it around so we can all get a chance to make our comments and questions. And I was thinking about unmotivated, uninterrupted, even, you were making the point that some things we do kind of involuntarily. We breathe, we don't have to think about it. But there's a motivation because we want to stay alive, so we breathe. And we don't think about blinking, but we do blink because if we don't blink, our eyes start to burn, and so we blink, right? And our heart, that happens without but there's a motivation for us to keep it beating so we can stay alive.
Yeah, just stop for a second.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. And so I was thinking about this idea of unmotivated. Everything in life there's some kind of motivation behind it. And we even, we hear that it's very important, even from like a materialistic perspective, to have really clear purpose and really clear intention in everything we're doing. So in other words, that's kind of our motivation, right? Our purpose behind doing something. So I was thinking that it's at least, please correct me if I'm off on this, but that the motivation is just simply to please Krishna. That our motivation is it's like our purified motivation, instead of it being to please my senses, that I'm just doing this to please you, my Lord, just doing this to serve my spiritual master and assist my spiritual master in their service to Srila Prabhupada. That our motivation is not, let me please my senses, let me increase my false ego. Anyway, it was just some thoughts that I was...
I think...
the last thing was just that, because it's important that we have a clear purpose and clear intention behind what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was thinking, if there's no motivation, then what is our purpose?
Mm.
Yeah.
our our clarity in these purposes is to get us to unmotivated devotional service. So these are our this is our duty. This is the material world. We have to have purpose, and we have to however, we can't lose sight that our ultimate purpose is to get to the point where it's unmotivated and uninterrupted. And Prabhuji, I agree with you that we are praying, please let me just serve you, Krishna. I just want to please you. But when we get to that point, that isn't even a motivation. We just do it. It's uncomprehendable. It's just like breathing. It's not in Mother Yashoda's conscious even about how do I please Krishna. It's just how she breathes. It's to a point where it's uncomprehendable to us because we're just so in a state where it's like, but I gotta have motivation. I gotta right? But we have occupational duties, we have frameworks, right, that we have as gifts to give to people to encourage them, to inspire them to serve Krishna. And so yes, purpose, intention, let's be conscious, understand what are we doing here? With the ultimate goal to get to the unmotivation, uninterrupted, you know? So I appreciate your point, Prabhuji, because we're not here to kill people, right? Oh my gosh, I've developed in my life so much of a mindset and a consciousness of, to be conscious of what I'm doing. And we should keep those. Let's just make sure that we're chanting Hare Krishna with the purpose of trying to get to unmotivated. We need to keep that in the preview too. You know what I mean? We need to keep that purpose and that intention, It says that what was it? If you focus on the final 5%, everything else comes. So if we can focus on getting to this point of unmotivational, uninterrupted service, all these things come natural to us, right? They are things that we use and stuff. But we're, as devotees, focusing on that 5%, the last 5% that when I'm on the bed, leaving my body, and so much distress is coming because everything is being pulled away from me. Every identity is being taken away. Can I breathe? Or whatever we can do and go, my Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Tulsi Saki Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, thank you for coming back to Canto 1, always coming back to the basics. It's really nice. And like you said, it is almost unimaginable, this unmotivated devotion. What does it mean? What does it feel like? It's so hard to comprehend. And like Prabhu said, coming back to, okay, is this pleasing to my Guru Maharaj? Is it pleasing to the devotees? So can't imagine that, but I think we have clearer understanding of what is pleasing to our Guru Maharaj and what is pleasing to the devotees. And the point that I think I am focusing on my personal improvement is the things, it's like if you do services that are clearly, okay, under the category of devotional service, after that and between your next service, it's like my need for doing something different. The breaks that I need, and what is it that I do, and like why do I need that, and why do I need so much of that? Or when you see advanced devotees, they've just they're from one to the next, and everything that they do is very inspiring, very encouraging, and they are so enlivened doing that. They don't need this, okay, let me take this break. So not that this is where I'm at, but also to just meditate on those who don't need to take breaks like this or that extended period of time.
Yeah. It's a wonderful point, right? That we have these, the acharyas, these gurus are giving us such a high standard that we are working towards, right? That's the progression we're working towards. I was thinking before class, Srila Prabhupada says in the Nectar of Instruction that the pure devotee is always thinking about how to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. Could you imagine that? That you're always you're not just thinking about it, you're like, you're working towards it. It is your breathing. How do we spread this? You feel it. I have to help in any way for Lord Chaitanya's movement to spread this all over the world. And so, for me at least, I was thinking how do I get there? That's just so big. But this is the progress that we're trying to make. I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm not a pure devotee. My breathing is conditioned. Conditioning. Like you were saying, it's conditioned to keep me alive. However, I'm being given a standard by our acharyas that we work towards. And we work towards, and we work towards. Can I get a little bit, can I expand my this in some way? And this is what gives us, this is in the Bhagavad Gita, right? One who makes progress in this path is no longer subject to the greatest type of fear, right? So our greatest type of fear is no progress. Because when we start making no progress, it's like, where am I going? Am I going up, down, left, right, down? Or am I going down? And so when we're making that progress, Krishna's kindness is it gives us a certain degree of relief that okay, I'm okay. But he's so kind too, he doesn't turn it all the way off because we need a little fire under us. We need a little bit of, of continued push to be like, this isn't the place for me. This conditioned state to a place where I am motivated. Anyways, these things that we just talked about, it's not my condition. So I need to progress. And Krishna's and Guru's giving us so much. Thank you for the point of these great devotees. Giving us examples. Hare Krishna. Let's keep this place for it. No, I'm just playing with you, Prabhuji. No. I'm totally kidding. Any last comment, Prabhuji? Okay.
Material world is a forest fire. So, if we were to actually feel that, then we would try to, get out of it. So, it's like we feel so comfortable in this forest fire sometimes that we forget that
this
we need
is the
to get
magic
out.
of the Sankirtan movement. The Sankirtan movement puts us in a state of dependence on Krishna because it's preaching. And our preaching will reach to a point where something will push back that we don't quite understand, and it makes us uncomfortable. However, with that kindness comes the answer if we just stay chanting Hare Krishna and reading Srila Prabhupada's books. And so when we get into the Sankirtan movement, it really makes us vulnerable because we can get a little sense of the fire. Wow, it can be overwhelming to know how little we know. We can answer a book answer, right? We can pull up Bhagavad Gita and throw out slokas. But when you're trying to touch somebody preaching, you have to go to a heart-to-heart level with them. And that takes Vigyan. And so through the Sankirtan movement, we have to get to a point where the realization comes and Lord Chaitanya takes a hold of us and starts producing situations, he starts making an arrangement that we will come up against things that we're not quite comfortable with, that we quite don't know. And then his kindness is that the next day we're reading Srila Prabhupada's books and we go, that was the answer. Next time I meet that person that has that question, I can answer it. And you see it. You just it punches different when it hits different when you have a situation where you're going, Krishna, I need your help. I don't understand this. I need some way, some shape or form to get a little bit, to move forward in understanding this, so that next time I want to share Krishna, I want to get to a point so badly that I can talk anybody into the fact that Krishna is the best for them, without it being about me. Right there, that sentence is tough for us as devotees because it's a lot about me. I want to get to. No, I want to get to a point where I can speak to the understanding of Krishna so much that anybody can be touched. And if I get an opportunity where I can see it's not happening, that's going to put me in a vulnerable state, and therefore I have to read Srila Prabhupada's books more scrutiny. I have to chant Hare Krishna more scrutiny. I have to do something to do my best, my finger, my inch, to say, Krishna, please help me progress. Sankirtan movement is just so amazing, right? It takes us out of the comfortability, right? Krishna is very kind. He gives us a nice arrangement that we can, nice food, nice dancing, nice songs, nice association, nice friends, nice jewelry, nice clothes, nice festivals. But Lord Chaitanya goes, hey, that's great. Let's do it. But let's push ourselves. Let's make ourselves vulnerable that we go and tell everybody else about Krishna. And that is where the nectar is. That's where Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, any comment?
I just want to say thank you very much, Prabhu. Such a nice class. There's so many personal realizations you've shared. So it also speaks for the fact that you've been practicing very sincerely. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhuji. I pray that any personal realization is a realization that comes in the line of disciplic succession, right? It's from my guru. It's from Srila Prabhupada, our gurus and stuff. And so, thank you. And we're very lucky to be even close to Srila Prabhupada. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Vanchaka Patrubhyascha, Kripa Sindhubhyeva cha, Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha, Anantikoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.